Hello, everyone. What's up? We're back at it. I'm here with Duge. Whoa, whoa. But yeah, we got we're here to do the little recap thingy for Shane's campaign, the Ro-pocylpse pending name. I think you said. I don't know, but
Pending name, pending.
pending. But uh, we're here to explain it. I believe Depot. We've already by the time this video comes out, that thing should have been posted, hopefully, but who knows? But yeah. So I guess we'll start this by saying who is in this goofy little adventure of hell. Up first would be our boy Gloop. Gloop is a plasmoid bard. He's from an asteroid that crashed down onto Earth, filled with plasmoids, and they kind of treat that place as Disney World. Nicknamed it Funland. And Gloop's whole mission in life is to how do we put this? To make everyone happy. He's a very silly guy. He can't speak. He's got the equivalent of autism to his species, and he just wants to have a good time and make everybody around him laugh. And yeah, and he has the abilities to morph into different things, with his gooey like body. And he's very silly, very awesome. But he's also, for some reason, he has the world's best battle IQ. Don't ever let this man, he's crazy with it. So, then up next would be Professor Click. Professor Click is a Kenku from the city of Oradea, a city controlled by a harsh dictator. It's very sucky, very, yeah, you know? But Click comes from the Falcone family in Ravensthorpe. He is basically the family's genius. He's his genius. He uses his abilities to craft mechanical mechanisms that help him go on and and do his whatever his mission is. He is basically the team's brains, while everyone else is the brawn, kind of. But we love Click. Click's awesome. He has a railgun. Like, come on. And not to mention a giant ass mech. Like, come on. This guy's a genius. He's awesome. So, then up next, we've got our boy Bartholomew. Bartholomew is I think they're called Leonin. Leonin. He is a Leonin man
I forgot how to drop my phone.
from the town. He's actually, I think, the first one of characters to actually be from uh where the campaign starts. But he is a Leonin man. He is a member of the police force of Oxville. He's like a police captain, I think, or sergeant, one of the two, of the town of Oxville. He's a very awesome dude. He's got a family that he provides for in his lovely job, and he's just an all-around good man. And not to mention the bronze of the group. So he's a very cool and awesome guy. And I don't think I don't think the team would have been what it was without him. But
Yeah.
Bartholomew is an amazing guy. Amazing guy. Up
It's my
next,
phone.
that's Bartholomew. Up next, we've got Schmidt Neezer. Schmidt Neezer was once a hermit, or I guess you could say he wasn't a hermit. He lived in the woods with his family, his wife and kids, until one day, since he was in the woods, his only really source of food was hunting. So he went to go hunt, but one day he got bitten by a wolf that had rabies, and then this wasn't no ordinary strand of rabies. This rabies strand had all the usual effects of rabies, but it just wasn't killing him. So, in order to save his family and keep them safe, he decided to leave. He sends money every now and again, along with some toys and whatnot. Schmidt's a good father, but he's just trying to find a way to care. He's done some mercenary work to, again, send the money back. Schmidt, also expert marksman, and just an all-around broken man who we all wish and hope can get the satisfaction that he needs to get home. So, up next, we've got Kasha. Kasha is a Harrigan rogue, a little bunny, 3-foot bunny person, aka the smallest person ever. You were the smallest person ever. Kasha, basically, they were once, they used to live in this town and whatnot until one day when it was burnt to the ground. We'll get to explaining who that was later. But it was burnt to the ground to a crisp. And I think after that they went to talk to their mentor, or they tried to find purpose in their life.
They got adopted by a mentor.
Yeah, they got adopted by a mentor, Confucius. Yeah, that guy. And ever since they left, Kasha has just been looking for them and to try and get back. And Kasha is
This is
sneaky.
this is the squad.
The squad so far, yeah, it just gets better from here. Then we have Knight. Yeah, I'll explain Knight now. Knight is a shadow person with unknown backstory. They're the only one who we haven't really gotten to know a lot about. They tend to keep to themselves.
I need a reference of Knight.
Yeah. They tend to keep to themselves. But they are, without a doubt, one of the most interesting members of the team. When they were introduced, it was in a very sad time. They were drunk, found in a trash can, but Knight is she wants to do better, I imagine. She wants to try and, because if not, she wouldn't be here. I feel she wants to try and do right, or at least find out what happened to we need to know more. I can't really say a lot because we don't know a lot. So Knight is just a shadow person. It's really cool, very awesome. Hopefully we'll both see more about them. It's very neat. I like Knight a lot. Because they can like travel in shadows and stuff. So, up next we would have Yuko.
There you go.
Yuko is I believe they're a kitsune. Yuko was a kitsune, I think paladin, kitsune paladin, that was she was a priest in the town of Oxville, same place Bartholomew's from. And she decided to join the crew in order to help her friend Bartholomew, and just to try and do good by her people and help out. Really, she's a very loving and accepting person, and it's very, very nice. Yuko always brought a smile to everyone around them. Gloop very much liked her. She was awesome. She is awesome. So, up next, we have, I think this is the last one.
They're supposed to be a fox. Right?
Fox.
I don't know how to draw fox.
Yeah, something like that.
You know what? That looks good. You know what?
Yeah.
That looks
And then finally,
last
but certainly not least, because there's some other characters that get introduced later, but those are in the videos that we actually recorded. Up last is our boy, Jonathan Giles. He was once a ordinary man, or child, who witnessed some events during his childhood that kind of set in stone his future, he likes to think. He sees this as, oh, these people helped a lot of people. I want to do that. And then he was graced. It's almost as if his prayers were answered. He was bitten by I guess, genetically enhanced spider, right? Genetically enhanced spider, which gave him abilities of, it gave him basically that of an arachnid, but also with a little bit of a kick, bit of a lightning type thing going on. And this man, he's ever since that day, he's sworn that he's to help people. He's taken on a secret identity almost, which isn't really very secret, but that secret identity to help the people of Ovlock and just the people of Gehenna in general. He is everyone's favorite friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But yeah,
There you
that
go.
is the group
Let's go.
of people. I'm gonna screenshot that. That's great. Uh,
quick fucking. If I had time to actually,
Wait,
draw
hang
them
on.
out, I
Let
think
me
this
do
would
this better.
be better. But it's a quick.
Quick sketch. I like it. Let me screenshot that again. It wasn't that good.
You at least you can tell who everyone is.
Yeah, this is the squad. These are the people whose adventures we'll be following along. So just sit back, relax, and we'll get to explain what the hell happened. So let's bring it to you, Shane.
All right, so if I remember correctly, we started off at like
Started in
a small
Oxville,
like
right?
short like Oxville.
We
Oxville is
started
like
on the
right
boat
here.
with Click and Gloop.
Um, there, there's a dock, and on the boat that was coming to Oxville was Gloop and Click. Gloop being a little slime plasmoid chud motherfucker, and Click being the Sigma smart ass guy. They go inside, and then they meet a couple other people. They meet a lion guy, a little depressed rabbit, Yuko. I
Believe we
think that
also
was it
met
at the
Schmidt. No,
time.
Schmidt. We saw him like foaming at the mouth at
Oh yeah,
the
Schmidt.
fountain.
Yes. Schmidt was in the middle, in a like near a fountain, doing I don't know what the hell he was doing.
He was like
After
foaming
that,
at
after
the mouth.
they finally meet, after they meet at a bar, because I don't know, they decided to go to the bar for some reason. Something happened, and a fucking robot out of junk, like out of like when I mean junk, like out of like shit you find in like a fucking back alleyway, came down, started attacking. They beat its ass after Kasha, went around and did
I think
nothing
Kasha was the one who
basically.
took the final hit or got the final hit in.
Was it?
I
Yeah, I
think it
think it
was.
was Kasha. Kasha got the final hit in after taking the sweet ass time going up like around. After that, they meet a guy named Drox, and he's like, "Oh, you can help me with the investigation because people were disappearing all over the region." So after that, they do whatever that yada 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 yada. They go to a different town. Different town. They meet the people there. They do all that. I think this is where they meet Giles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where they meet Giles. But
Jonathan
that's like later.
Giles.
After that, but after they get there, they rest whatever. They hear an explosion, and then hordes of fucking little circular bots start coming in. But these guys look a little bit more, built. I mean, built like don't look like they're made out of junk, like the last one they fought.
They weren't made
And then
in a Chinese sweatshop.
they weren't made. Yeah, they weren't made in a Chinese sweatshop with little Chinese Nike kids or whatever. But
Nike
anyway,
kid.
they hold them off. Shit. But
Bartholomew
they
like
hold them off.
threw a roller at another one. That was dope.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. And then big robot, big arms called a grappler came in, and he was kind of rocking some of your shit because he was throwing them at you guys. And then after a while, the military came in, settled the problem and all that. And that's not how you spell. That's not how Spike plays.
We won.
Yeah, yeah, you guys won. You guys, they won. After that, they settle down for a little bit, and then Jonathan Joust comes over. They start to figure out like what to do here. They start to like investigate after the military like handles all of that,
People were going
and
missing.
and all that. Yeah, people going missing. Like what the heck? But like whoa. But anyway, they they start to investigate because they noticed that some of the people, at least some of the guards, the reason why they were like like the people, the two guards like right here were like doing something, and they were like, "What happened? What the fuck happened?" They saw like a bright light and with nothing else, so they started investigating that. They started investigating that, and one led another. They led them to an alleyway, and then that's when a thing came down with a skull, it's like a snake or whatever thing, and then come down and try to kidnap. Like, was it Smith? Who was it that was bait?
It might have been me. I think Loop was
That
the
was
bait.
Smith.
No, was it?
Okay, was it Clue? I thought it was Schmidt.
It might have been Schmidt.
I think
Probably. Let's say
it
it
might
was
have been
Schmidt.
Schmidt.
Let's just say it was Schmidt for
Let's say
convenience
this is
sake.
okay. Schmidt was bait. Schmidt was bait.
Our lovely little
And the
rabies
thing
boy.
tried to get him, but he was able to get out of it. And then since he didn't get him,
We
it
all
was an
fought
ambush
his
anyway.
ass.
So they prepared to fight. And Bartholomew getting a good strike at it's like a snake tail or
Isn't this
whatever.
where freaking
Like
Bartholomew like dunked Gloop on him?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you dunk Gloop on him, like basically knocking him down. And then Schmidt taking a shot from his gun
His little
hit
matchlock
the
rifle.
skull, the human skull on the robot, and took a chip off of it, like on the right side, like the right side of the skull. Like I mean, a chunk like took off like a sort of like the you know what I'm saying, like a big chunk.
Yeah,
It's like
big chunk of his face.
it's like this. It's like this. It's like oh my goodness. Oh, it's like that.
They took my
Like that.
head.
And then after that, after taking enough damage, you decided to run away. I think you guys tried to chase it, but
We
you guys
did.
lost everything. Oh no! Yeah, you didn't chase it. It did a freaking like flashbang with one of it, like its eyes or whatever, and then you guys couldn't, and it was
Yeah.
gone. And that's when Kasha comes in. That's when Kasha came in. And was like
What I
running
missed.
all the way around again. Seen a flash, and that's all they saw. And it's just gone. Okay, but anyway, they decide, okay, we got to get moving. So they go to another town.
I think this is where we
Go
met.
to another town. This is where you met Knight.
Yeah, Knight. Goo Goo Gaga.
Yeah. They met they met Knight in a box, or no, in
It
a
was
trash can.
Yeah, they fell out of a trash can.
Yeah. They fell in a trash can. Everyone was like, "Whoa, what the?" Everyone was trying to get like clues or whatever. People like they try to go to the general in this area because that's what they were told to do, to like give information. Oh, that's what they actually no, that's what the soldiers
Hmm.
said. And I think this is when Arthur started like coming along with you guys
Yeah, we met Arthur right in
because they
that
were
town.
assigned
That's
to you.
right.
Yeah, you met Arthur right in that town, and that's also like also a little note. That's when you met the old guy, the
Right,
guy
old
with
guy.
the actually you gave the old guy gave the M1
M1
Grand to
Garand to
Kasha.
Kasha.
Kasha never used it.
Kasha.
But anyway, back to Slayer hand. They go here. You know, it's a pretty nice town. It's pretty big.
I
You
think this
start walking
is
around,
yeah.
doing all that, talking to shopkeeper, and trying to get things. But later on, I think it was like Yuko and Gloop and
That's
Schmidt.
that sounds like
I
a good
think
bet.
that yeah.
Yeah, we
And
investigated an
then
alley, right?
Schmidt, yeah, because Schmidt got robbed from a kid.
Yeah, Schmidt got. Yeah, that's right. Schmidt did get robbed, and then when we followed that kid into an alley, we were like, "Oh shit!"
you saw, you saw after following. Actually, the alleyway is like something like the alleyway was like something like this. If I remember, it was like
Yeah,
something
something like that. It was like
like
against
this.
the wall of the city.
They go in, and here, okay. This was the snatcher, the thing that they saw in the alleyway before,
That
and
thing we
this was the
blew a head
kid.
of its chunk
But
off. Head of its chunk? Not the
yeah,
other way.
yeah. But as they were, but as Smith was chasing the kid, he didn't. In the heat of rage, he wasn't focused, so he chased the kid. But Gloob went ahead and moved the kid out the way. But since he did that, the snatcher just kind of bitch slapped Schmidt
Not great. Not great.
to the wall, and then that's when you started the fight. After starting the fight, you guys fought it. Schmidt was able to get shot and shot off one of his the snatcher's hand off. Shot it off. But the thing you could tell the thing replaced it, or it started to replace it with a blade. No, off of the rollers, that rollers are something like this. The rollers is like that's what a roller is now.
A bit more than that.
It's like it's like something like this. Like they have little blade arms or something like that. Like
They can roll around.
oh, that's what the
Whoa.
magic pocket though. like something like that. Something like that. Basically like that. But after replacing one of its arms with like the equivalent of a blade, it started to you actually know, yeah, you went inside of it
I
actually. I
did,
think
and
you
then
went
that I
inside it the
think,
last time,
yeah, I let in inside our first encounter, but
but
then
then
he anticipated that like Batman.
as soon as you went inside the second time, it froze you, which it tried to, after that tried to take you, but then Schmidt came in, whatever. But then after you got out, it proceeded to hypnotize Schmidt, and then after that kidnapped him and brought him on top of the roof. And this is when everyone. This is
This is
when
where we met John. John
I
helped
think
us, and he did his epic Spider-Man moves, along with Gloop, who's also
yeah,
chasing him.
yeah, yeah. And then I think this is when like everyone like you were guys like ah!
Everyone,
And then that's when
yeah,
I think
I think we sent
John
Yuko.
saw
I think we sent Yuko to go get the others, while
yeah
while
yeah
Gloop and John went to go chase down the
yeah.
Snatcher.
And then when John gets a Hail Mary whip, the thing got like one over his fucking like John's shot,
Yeah,
which is
it
a
got a
fucking
he got a
like
19, and then the
actually
other one,
like
and then yeah,
got like a
John.
20.
Yeah, it was crazy. We almost saved him, but that didn't stop us. It
Yeah. After that was a whole chase mission, chase thing. It was like the statue was running over there. They were chasing, and then out in the middle of nowhere, there's a grappler blocking the path. They fucking
Gloop
Goop
kicked
does the
its
equivalent of a
ass.
fucking slingshot.
I
I mean, after
slingshotted
it
and then turned
fucking
it into a
knocked,
spear and cut it in half.
after it did like after the did like 30 damage, but after that you fucking killed him instantly.
Anime move.
Kill anime move. Like the slingshot thing, he slingshots, it becomes like a rod and something like that. Anyway, they follow in that general direction. They follow. But then over
Eventually,
here, they see a building or like the equivalent of like an abandoned factory almost. An
compound too,
old
because I think it was
abandoned
like
factory compound. Yeah, there's a compound.
very
Yeah, there's a
scary.
compound like something like that. As soon as they see it, they see the snatcher go inside. After that, after a while, like like whatever, they see a tank come out with a couple rollers and a couple grapplers go out, and Gloop and John decide to. I mean, the others were here, but they were kind of staying back.
The others were like,
Gloop and
"Oh, we're
John
gonna go
decide to
get the
go with.
military. We're gonna go get help."
Yeah,
And then me
yeah.
and Goop and John were
Gloop and
like, "We can't
yeah.
wait. Our bro's in there."
So they go inside, sneak in. They see a bunch of shit. They see a bunch of rollers just kind of walking around doing whatever, and then they go inside. They see a bunch of materials, parts. They also see people that are like hang like the equipment of like how you hang like meat in a in a
In a
fridge.
yeah, in like a butchery plate. I
Yeah,
think they were
but in a
alive though,
butchery
right? I think we
basically. That's
saved a lot of
basically
people from that
yeah,
pit.
they were alive. Yeah, she saved people.
Yeah.
Yeah, she saved them.
We were doing an
But
epic stealth mission.
they were able to see one of them be synthesized where they drained the the thing we talked about, the essence out of them, which just killed them. And yeah, and whatever. But they saw a huge thing constructing them with arms, many arms, constructing stuff, making more rollers, making more grapplers, making tanks or whatever. But they sneak in and try to figure out what to do. And they see Schmidt get put in.
On a table.
Schmidt on table. But as the thing was about to do something, you see the snatcher come up that, with the blade arm and, gash out its head. You see it go up to Schmidt and, hit him, and then proceed to chop off one of his hands because
I wasn't fast enough.
yeah, you went fast enough. You went fast enough to like help. But you soon after all that, they get Schmidt out. They get in a getaway vehicle. It's like a transport thing. They
Yeah.
get out.
That's our van that we're
They
currently
see
using.
they see they see other transports leave, and they also see the big spider thing fucking run off. They get out.
That giant
They
constructor.
warn the military.
They're like, guys, the British are
Constructor.
coming.
They
Not really, but
yeah, the British coming. They prepare and they fight. The military fights, and they actually hold off the threat pretty good. They actually
Yeah.
hold it off. And I'm trying to remember what happened after that.
I
I think
think
this is
that's when we
when. Oh
started
yeah, this
going
is no,
towards
getting
the
to
arc.
the no. This is when you got the new base. This is when you start to
Right.
got.
We
This is when
went.
you got the
Oh
new
yeah,
base.
the base session, and then we went to that mansion. I think that abandoned mansion.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, the general said, "Oh, you guys did pretty good. Yeah. Kind of, have stuff to up to my neck right now, and Jox is a good friend of mine. Hello, Jox. But he was like, so I think, you know what? I think you guys are good for the job since like we can't really
Is this the same
do much
general
thing
that?
anything about it because
Is this the same
yeah,
general
that's that's
we've
that's,
seen?
that's the same general.
Oh, so General Coleman,
Yeah,
I think
he's
we've named him, right?
Coleman, General Coleman. Yeah, General Coleman. Coleman was really like, you guys did pretty good. I'm grateful for warning us in advance. Many people would have been hurt if we didn't prepare, but
Yeah, yeah.
as a thank you and as a good faith from one of my dear friend Rox, we will give you a piece of location.
And
And then he
that's
talks about it saying it's not that good of it. It's big, pretty big, pretty fortified, but it's not like finished. It was supposed to be a base that was used before. Oh yeah, there was a war. Anyway, we're gonna skip over that. Not important. But anyway, the it talks about how like that was constructed so it can be like like last fort stand basically, and enough to hold basically like cities in there. It's like it's big enough to hold like basically a city in there, but it was not finished because they won the war. So it's like, oh, but it was like a war the war they won was kind of a losing battle. There's no way they're going to win. The only way they won is because there's some inside conflict going on the other side. We'll talk more about that later.
bum, bum, bum.
But but they send you guys to that fort. I'm gonna say the fort. Fort. They go to the fort. It's like something like
Boom, boom, boom. Fort.
it's way bigger than this. They go to the fort. They get get acquainted with it. They do whatever. They see a big. Click sees a big like area. And it was like the garage. He was like, I'm gonna go there to my workshop. We'll do whatever. And then everyone's like getting acquainted. And then after that, the guy tells them, all right, oh, okay, yeah, that's yeah, the beer after that. But anyway, oh yeah, that's when Knight joins.
Yeah,
Like
that's when Knight
the
officially
Knight
joins the
decides
team.
to join. Yeah, Knight officially joins. Knight is like a drunk or something at this point, at least.
At this point, they're this cool
But
shadow person.
yeah, cool shadow guy, a
She's so
woman
Sigma.
thing,
Friend.
thing. I think it's thing. I don't know, friend. Yeah, friend. But anyway, but they like okay, the general gives them like a sort of a thing to do. All right, go to the mansion. There's a vampire guy that like family. That's a family that has helped us in the war. He's like the only one of his family that's still alive right now. So like he's saying that to go get them because whatever the remnants, what they're called, the
Big
remnants,
bad evil
or
robots.
yeah, big bad evil robots. Remnants are like like equivalent of what was made in the war. Like war forges. Like they're basically war forges, but
10 times
should I
stereo.
explain should I explain the war? Should I explain the war,
Probably.
I guess?
War's probably important.
Okay. Yeah, the war is definitely important. Okay, so basically, like 100 years ago, aliens came down, like aliens. But they were they were like one way I can explain it, like they're like tea cream, right?
Kinda. Yeah, three
Tea
cream.
cream, right?
Tree
They're
cream.
like tea
Whatever they're
cream.
called.
Three cream.
The bug people.
Tree cream, bug people. They're like that, but they're like different. What I mean difference is that they they're called tendrils. They're not called tendrils like for what they're called, but I imagine they just kind of stuck with it because that's what everyone here calls them. They're like, I guess stick with that. But they're like a high tech species that would just kind of like doing whatever like very high tech. I mean high tech. They were like the equivalent of gods, something like that. But the ones that crash landed here were just on a you know equivalent of a plane basically. They crash landed here
Because some idiot
because of one
inputted
input or something.
one input wrong on the
Like,
navigational computer.
and that's why they crash here. That's canon, by the way. Anyway, but they crash here. they're like what they're like more like confused of what happened,
Whoa, this
more
Earth
and
place
more
is like
probably angry
pretty
at
weird.
because the rule in the tendrils philosophy or like whole like civilization is don't mess with civilizations that are lower tech and let them grow naturally. But I imagine the ones here were not like they were for the philosophy, but they were not like for that specific point. They were more for like the to keep growing technology or keep growing as a species, even though they're probably at like the peak of it. After crash landing here, they're like, oh, okay, we're gonna do whatever. They meet a couple people and they find out about this weird energy that everything produces here. Like I imagine the trees, the grass, plants, everything has it.
Basically the life force of this
It's the
planet, but they called it essence.
yeah, yeah. I imagine it's more like magic.
Or
It's
a
just like
magic
the
force
energy that helps,
that
like
all it's
the
kind of
energy that helps produce
you've
magic.
explained it to me several times, and I always think of the force because you always say it runs through all living beings, but it's not as potent in others as it is with like warlocks
Yeah,
and witches and whatnot.
yeah. I imagine this energy. It's like it flows through like basically everything. Flows through like let's say like there's some like people, regular people. I also met it's like it's the equivalent of like magic. It helps you do like to like use magic whatever and all that, or it's the equivalent of the energy that's used to make magic or use like fireball and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But after seeing people do that, a couple of like the big brain ones decided that they wanted to see what that energy does. So I imagine out of curiosity, they kidnapped somebody and figured out how to drain the energy out of it. So they called it essence
Bum bum bum.
because you can drain it. After draining it, they found out the properties of it are so like it's almost like pure energy, but almost life force at the same time. So they were like they were very very hypnotized by at least the ones researching it.
Picture it like
So out
soul
of like
power
carry
on steroid.
basically. Yeah, basically. They basically were very, very like I would say obsessed with it to the point where they're like, we need more of this, we need more of this. Because they found out it like the energy source could be used to power up technology. But it's like to the point where it's like hard to because you need to have something that can handle the energy that it produces.
Yeah.
It's like okay, like let's say you get it. You say let's say you have a Duracell battery, like battery size. You put essence in that. You plug it into a flashlight. It will blow up the flashlight. Basically, you have to put like the equivalent of a Duracell battery in a car, basically, to like not have it like kind of pop like anything, but it still might have problems with like heating up, whatever. Basically, something like that.
Yeah.
That's like the energy it produces.
And
But
then
after that, like we need more of this. We need more of this. So they used the whatever essence they got to like start constructing. They start constructing, or like not constructing, but they start putting the energy they had into rollers and grapplers that they had because rollers and grapplers are something that they use for like just like servants or transporting stuff they didn't want to
average edge droid dudes.
use, but they put
Not droids, but
basically
like robots. Clankers.
the,
They were a clanker.
yeah, basically. So they put the energy inside of them, and then and then after that, there was like we gotta make more. So they start making more. Using the rollers and grapplers as bases, and then after that, they send them out to kidnap people to get more. But after that, they were like everyone was like, "What the fuck? What the hell?" Like and all that. So they start panicking. Everyone starts panicking. Fight like people use fireball and all like magic and shit to fight, but it works. I imagine like fireball does like it does decent, but like compared to like swords and shit, they probably would not do well. It's like a bunch of the magic that would like do really good. I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, they were, they collect the tendrils, collected enough energy, collect a lot, collect a lot, collect a lot. But in the scuffle of all that, I imagine when they destroy a couple of rollers, grapplers, or whatever, they were able to get technology off of them to help them construct their stuff. Like, like the people find out about, cables and wires because, you know,
Of us.
the rollers and all that. But I imagine it's not enough to like, construct stuff like a gun, whatever, but it's just like giving them a heads up could be made. But after like let's say I don't know, like a couple of weeks, not weeks, like a month, and maybe even a year, something happened to one of the rollers or grapplers. It started like acting weird. I imagine they were like, "What the hell is going on with this one?" But after it seemed sentient. It seemed like to actually like move, and started to actually like I think it started to talk. And they're like, "What the hell's wrong with this one?" And they found out something inside of it formed into a core, like I would say thing of energy, like something like that. It's like a ball of like concentrated energy that's like the equivalent of, like I would say it looks like it's like a sun almost, but just small. I would say like small.
Yeah.
Then they were like, "What is this?" So they do some tests and they found out the core itself is basically a soul, like a soul for the robot, and it seems to like construct, like not construct. It seems to mix well with machinery. So they're like, "Whoa, what is this?" Like this would eventually lead to the scientists, like the ones obsessed with it, to want more of it. So they started making more. They started making more robots and just putting and like essence inside of them and see if they would form the core. But it's like the way it forms. It's like very inconsistent. It's like forms every like it's like a gamble, like see if roller grappler becomes a core, but eventually they get enough of core, like the robots with cores in them, and they're like, whoa, this is cool.
He's pretty gangster.
So they give them the name, pretty gangster, so they gave them the name Core Vox, like core, like the core and Vox, Core Vox, like Core Vox, like that.
Yeah. Liddy.
Yeah, but after that they were like, well, this could help us. This could help us grow our numbers. So at least, because I imagine the tendrils, there's not much of them. There's not much of them at all.
It was the standard flight. Airplane.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
while they're all big,
So they
badass, and
basically
cool,
started.
there's only a little bit of them.
Yeah. So yeah. So they started. So they start using the Corvox, or what was made, to start using them to do like whatever stuff, like help with specific stuff that the role, like the droid, like the equivalent of I call them drones, the one without cores, because they're just not they're
They're
like have
flankers.
basic, yeah, they have basic things to do. Like you tell them to do something, they do it, but it's like with the most robotic way possible. But the Corvox, you tell them to do something, they do it like in a way that a person probably would. Like sometimes they mess up, sometimes they do it perfectly, sometimes they like basically things like that. They
AI
become like an
versus
actual
humanity.
like thing. Yeah, but after that, it's like they start making the court boxes want like I want like I feel like some of them want to look different from the rollers, so they start making like actual different like faces. I imagine like more like humanoid ones, but, like different ones like that, like to their preference or whatever ones they want.
They had the
Some stayed
rebellious
as
teen
rollers, some
phase.
stayed as grapplers. Yeah, basically, basically. But after that, the war started going on. Korvax having actual weapons, and after like a while, like all that shit, that's when I imagine Zictor, that's the nation that they landed on. So actually were able to get
On the
technology
island
off
of
of
Gehenna, by the way.
Gehenna, yeah. They were actually able to get like the technology off of it. They were able to get the technology off of the tendrils in Corvox, that they were actually able to make weapons and make like stuff to like help and fight. And that's when the company of Aerotech would form.
Bum, bum, bum.
Aerotech used to be like, I imagined. Aerotech, I imagine, used to be like the equivalent of like a blacksmith, a regular old like blacksmith place that would make a bunch of like weapons and stuff. But after a while, it got under new management, and the person I imagine that took over that place had like was pretty smart. I imagine, no, not like genius, but he was smart enough to like understand stuff, like at that level. I mean, so he was like, hmm, what if we, take that technology, so very like try to use something with it? So they were able to make a gun basically, and that's when they reformed the thing to Aerotech. They would take the technology off of what you know the tendrils left behind.
Yeah.
So they started doing that, and that started producing weapons. And then after that, the war kind of just went on. It was a losing fight for Zictor, losing fight because what are you gonna do against an endless army of robots and aliens that basically know technology way out of way out of the
Basically, think
league?
Clone Wars, but we're not based like the clones.
Yeah, basically. And imagine the robots are able to instead of take one shot, they able to take multiple shots and blow up or something like that. Each the drones, and imagine imagine the soldiers being the equivalent of like droid commandos, but that's half the squad.
I threw all of the heavy hitters up front, and in the back, and
Yeah,
in the
but
middle.
yeah, yeah. But after that, they were I'm gonna say the region. This is not a good thing of a region, but this is okay. Basically, this is not a good representative of the region, but this is this is what I'm gonna work with.
Is this just
It's
the
okay.
what is it?
So
Ovlock section?
overlock. This is no. This is I
What's the
imagine
is this the entire
it's a
island?
pretty bad. It's pretty bad of Gehenna,
Oh, okay.
but okay. This is forgot Order. This is Order was the capital of Zictor. This is was Zictor, and over here,
Wasn't Tailstone
this is
the
what would
capital?
be called.
I
Yeah,
think
it
Ordea
was Tailstone,
was
but
the second.
Tailstone
It was like the second major port
was
city.
yeah, it was second. Yeah, yeah. Tailstone, which was over here, but is now a wasteland. That was the main battlefield, but it proceeded to become a desert region. And over here, Overlock, which is a basically not countryside, but it's more like a place that people go over here to start building whatever. Over here was basically a second. It was part of Tailstone at some point, but then got
Fucked.
cut off. I imagine you can also see old train tracks or parts that connected Tailstone to.
Yeah. And
I imagine you would
Ordea,
see that, but the
for those
but
curious,
Ordea
that's where my campaign will resume as soon as we get started up. But basically, what happened there is while the whole Tendril War was going on, right? This big bad evil demon overlord was like, "Hey, I could use this perfect to my advantage." So he decided to show up in Ordea and take basically grab he basically took command chain of power or like the power vacuum, and while everything was going on over there, the everyone, Zickner, tendrils alike, they didn't have enough. They just had no time to deal with him sinking his teeth into that city. So eventually, he got all his uh, friends to overrun the city, and now it's basically led by his dictatorship. And yeah,
basically, yeah. That happens. I imagine that happens midway through the war,
yeah,
50
midway.
years maybe in the war. Yeah. After all that, people with in the after Tailstone falls, because I imagine Tailstone falls, and then that's when he comes in because that leaves a big because Tailstone was basically the fort
The
of operation, and the only way to get from Overlock over to or there is by boat now because you can't go to the desert region because wasteland and shit in there that you don't want to see. So they get pushed back here, and fighting. After a couple of years, they start to construct the fort that you guys would. This is the base that the general guys gives them. They proceed. This is a mountain, if you can't tell, pretty
mm-hmm.
bad. But anyway, um, they proceed to fight. After the war, the Korvax, that would be named. Couple of you guys probably would know,
I think
but
from the videos we've
after
seen, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Basically, they would start doing doing mayhem. Most of the fighting force with Korvax, but at some point it used to be tendrils. And I guess I'll explain what what tendrils do really. Basically, tendrils are I said bug like people, but they instead of because the high technology allows them to do basically whatever they want. Basically, what they do is those are they go to other places, like other planets, other things, and find like insect-like species in different environments. And what they do is they take DNA off of them and basically inject them into themselves to change appearance, to change like the structure of themselves, or just whatever. The downside of that is whatever they pick is what it like they get the instincts and habits of some of the things they take off. So it's like basically you need a good combination
Package
of
deal.
things to work together instead of fight against. Yeah, basically. Yeah, they have to get DNA that works with each other instead of fighting against with each other.
Otherwise,
So
it's
that's basically
stupid.
what they are. Yeah, and a lot of them have DNA that basically makes them basically indestructible. Like when I mean indestructible, like you shoot like basically artillery around at them, they will not flinch basically. But they don't really fight because I imagine they don't like. I imagine some of them are still like. I imagine magic to them is like still like it doesn't hurt. I mean, it doesn't really. I imagine some doesn't do. Like I imagine like some things might like actually hurt them, but they're like they just rather be like in the back lines doing whatever. They would rather use the robots to do the like the main work as they research all the like the actual assets. They want to research more of it.
They were the nerds. Luckily, the ship
Yeah,
that crashed on our planet was full of nerds.
yeah. I even also imagine the tendrils that fell down on this planet were not even like the equivalent of military. They're just basically scientists and I don't know a couple of citizens. That's basically what they are, and to like
Thank God.
where like I imagine they're like not even the equivalent of what the peak of the whatever, but they're pretty still strong. They're pretty strong still. But after doing whatever and all that, like near the end of the war, some of the tendrils was like starting to question it, what they're doing. I imagine they were questioning at the beginning, but it's like after after like a couple years, they were like, I mean, 100 years, they were like, or like let's say 80, they're
Something like
like
that.
85, like around there, somewhere around there. They were like starting to question it, and they were starting to think, why are we doing this? Like, why? Like this goes against it. Like I imagine they weren't like thinking about that because they're like this thing is pretty cool. But after like killing people and all, they're starting to question their philosophy and whatever. So they're like, I don't, we shouldn't do this. Why are we doing this? Why did it take us this long to realize we shouldn't
Guys,
be
I
doing
think
this?
we're the bad guys.
No crap, they are. But I imagine a couple of the scientist ones are like the ones that are obsessed with it were like, oh what? So what? This energy is like can change everything. Okay, like this can help with everything. We this energy is so like unfathomable. Yeah, unfathomable, whatever. That we can just this can change everything. But they were like, no, but this like fucks up a whole civilization that's fucking progressing though. Like this fucks up everything. So I imagine there was a lot of like inner fighting happening with the tendrils. Well, the Corvox was just kind of doing their own thing, like doing fighting. A lot of inner fighting happens, and then after a while, a couple of the tendrils actually switch sides to the Zictor, or like the other side, because they didn't agree with what what they were like what they like the tendrils on the other side were doing. So they decided to switch sides to Zictor
Oh yeah.
and help them out. And after that, since the tides have been turned because basically they have the tendrils on their side. Some of them. I mean, some of them. I mean, like a majority of them, because most of the ones that stayed were just the ones obsessed with it, of the essence. So after that, they kind of just you know turned the tides, and they were able to like Zector was able to win. But I imagine the tendrils. What I mean that like there was. I imagine there's like at least 200 tendrils, like 200 of them that crash land out here. But I imagine the ones that like switch sides. Some of them decided to stay on this planet, either as a punishment for just like we shall stay here to just clean up the
Yeah.
like things. Some of them just wanted to stay because they would they feel like they would rather stay instead of go back. Or some of them just didn't want to stay because some of them just wanted to stay because they didn't want to feel get punishment for going back to you know, basically exilement. Basically, they basically exile themselves here. The other ones that say, "Fuck that, I want to go fucking home."
I'll go home.
Like what I mean, like a lot of them. I mean only 20 fucking like only 20 to like 10 tendrils stay on this planet. Like stay on this planet. Like most of them decided to like construct something and leave like instantly. They go back to like
Get the
the
hell out of here, bro.
like origin, I guess.
Insert planet
And that's
name.
when the war would insert planet name curriculum something like that. No.
Curriculum. Guys, remember there's a historic battle. There's a historical battle in the war called the Battle of Kirkilon.
Yeah, totally. Anyway,
Totally.
anyway, there's trying to remember. Okay, after the war, everything started building up. Yeah, everyone started building back up and everything.
They were just about to
Tendrils,
head on over
started
to
waking.
fucking Ordea, but then
Yeah, after I think we have, how many years after the war? Do we how many years after the war? I think like
uh
20.
yeah, like 20, I think. Fucking bug, get out of my face. Yeah, they rebuild here
Like
in
let's say
Ovlok, I think, right? And they're
yeah, Overlock, and after like the plan, they have the plan to take Order back, so they at least have more stronghold to like enter the desert region to try to turn that back into like an area where they can live.
to make Gehenna
But
great again.
that's when but then before like they could do that, they started noticing like a couple like 5 years later that people started to disappear a lot.
And
They
that's
realized
where
people
we
started
come in.
disappearing a lot. Yeah. Also, I also can't forget. I also can't forget to mention this, but like 20 in between those 20 years, that's when they started capturing like Korvoks, like ones that like main name is like Scorch, Doctor, and like stuff like those guys.
Blast,
They started
Blast,
like
and
capturing those.
those three were in the prison, I believe, right?
Yeah, Blast, Surge,
And Rampage, right?
and Thrasher, Rampage. Yeah, Rampage.
Bunch of
Rampage was like a more of a like
big baby mama.
Rampage was more of like Rampage was more of like I imagine like a late experiment, like basically at the end of the war he was made.
Okay, thank God that he wasn't thrown out. But we'll explain why we say experiment in a moment.
Yeah, we'll explain more about that. Okay, anyway, so after all that, okay, let's go back. After they get to the base and all that, they were like, okay, let's go explore around the base, and they go to like a place, whatever. They go to like an abandoned like the
I think it was a
house,
house,
like
yeah, it was
way I
some
can
sort
explain it,
of
it's like
mansion, I think.
the
It was like the didn't you describe
it's
it
like
as
like
the one
the
house in
like
Red Dead, the Braithwaite Manor, yeah.
the Braithwaite's like the Braithwaite Manor. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. But they go in and they're like, okay. They find a bunch of old stuff. I think they find like an old gun that won't work, but they find a bunch of stuff. I think they also find some money, but also they go in at the top of it and they find a roller corpse, like an old one, like with dust or whatever. So they go up to it. I don't know who it is that goes up to it, but they start hearing clicking after they went up to it. They're like, holy shit, and it blows up.
I jumped
I
out the
think they get
window with them,
away.
I think. Gloop did.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
And then there was we saw like
after
three
after
drones.
after it blows up, they see rollers over here with markings on themselves, like with different color markings. So they're like, "Oh, get him!" And then when they were finding them, they realized that these rollers were doing, instead of like you imagine a drone would charge at you instantly.
Yep.
These guys were running. These
So
ones
they
were
were
running,
Korvoks.
doing stuff. You see, they were Korvoks. The two others were able to escape, but they were able to capture one, which was Trev.
Hi, Trev.
They would capture him and they tied him up, put him in a car, and they started questioning him, and he was like just saying,
Gloop used
basically started. That's
his
when
nat 20 Riz face on the guy.
I like to imagine it didn't work like the way you thought. Actually, it's like, oh, he has a friendly face. I
He's
think I
got a
can trust
friendly
him.
face. I think I can trust this guy.
You got that Riz that he makes you think you're friendly. Anyway.
Exactly.
But anyway, he starts basically, at least this is when at least everyone on this like squad finds out what a core box is. Basically, just explains that,
Which was very useful.
and just like basically explain. Yeah. Okay. And also tidbit. this is a overlock. In this sort of region, Korvoks are considered okay.
They
They're
alright.
not they're all right, but they're not really looked fondly upon. But they're all right here. Over here on this region, over here on this region, people hate them. Like the equivalent of like if you see a Korvox you would crucify them, hang them, fucking beat them up. Like they do not like Korvox on this side.
They racist.
They hate them, basically.
It's the
They're
South.
basic. I mean, you would too if you
Yeah, like it's
fucking for like
justified.
100
It's
years.
justified, but some of them are good.
Yeah, it's justified,
Kinda.
but doesn't make it right though.
Yeah.
But but this Corvox, what you can tell, like he said, I'm not going back over there. I'm not going back to that region. I would rather be over here. Please don't make me go back. Just right there. And then they decided to just take him to the base, tie him up, and hang him like a pinata. So he was just kind of dangling there.
It's
They
very
would talk
funny.
to him time to time. They would talk to him time to time and all that. But then after whatever, they start to head over to the mountain area.
Isn't
Whatever.
this where
So I
we
head over
go to
there.
talk to Rampage? Or am I wrong?
Lab. Lab. Bad. That's not
Bab.
lab. Basically,
All right, we went down to
when they
that
go
one
over
first, and
here,
then we went up there to. Okay, yeah.
yeah. They go over there and they see a lab and they see the equivalent of like a garden,
Plantation, I think is what I thought of it
like
as.
plantation. Yeah, it's like a plantation. Yeah, but they go in there. They see a roller waking in the field, and they see like a grappler just kind of watching, and they also see like a guy with the roller just kind of helping, like a professor looking guy with a lab coat, whatever, that's getting dirty in the I guess. But anyway, after they come to, they see them, and there's like, oh, the lab guy, professor comes up to him and is like, hello, who are you? And then after they say, like, oh, okay, we don't get much visitors or something like that. You he like here to help or something, and then I imagine you guys say that you're from the general or like something like that. So he's like, oh, okay. So I imagine he like for like I guess courtesy gives you a tour. This is where they meet a couple of prisons. I met there's a prison over here.
Some of our worst
Like
friends.
there's a prison right here, and there's a couple of grapplers and rollers in there, and you can tell they're a little aggressive. I mean aggressive. You can tell they're not like the ones you saw in the field. At least they yeah. And then after they were
This is
like
where we met
very like
Tim,
saying,
I
I
think,
really don't
right?
like you guys.
Met Tim,
This is where you met Tim.
our little guy.
Tim was Tim, a roller that was a mistake via the lab accidentally making one. Like I imagine when I mean mistake is like they were testing with it and then for some reason they formed a core. So they're like, okay. So they put in a roller body and then
That's Tim right
Tim
there.
was just kind of there now. That's Tim. Oh
We
yeah,
love Tim.
let me make Tim. Let me make,
Does he have a
it's
sticky
like
note on his
Tim.
face?
No, imagine it's like something like that. It's like a
Yeah.
screen.
Tim has autism,
It's like a little
but
screen. It's like
we still love him.
the equivalent. I imagine the equivalent of it. I imagine because the core formed in a way that's like very like they didn't know how it was. Like they didn't know why it formed.
Happy little accident.
Then, but over here is
I think
when they
3 or
met
2.
Spark,
Spark, right?
Doctor,
Don't
and
forget
then
Scorch.
over here they saw the corpse, not corpse, but they saw the equivalent of the corpse of Scorch, because what they did with Scorch is they just kind of took out his like core and just kind of
Hung on the neck.
like put it like they took out his core and put him in like the equivalent of a tube. Basically, the reason why is because they didn't want him to be in his body because his body is like dangerous, obviously.
Mega
So they just kind of
goaded.
kept him there. And the reason why they had him there is because they had to they wanted to research more about like the essence, and the only person that knew like a lot about it was the doctor. Which heads up, the doctor was pretty much the one that like I imagine like the tendrils they would do the research, but the doctor was really the one that like did a lot of it because they, I imagine, God, I'm trying to think.
He was a pretty
The doctor was
brainy
there for the
core.
doctor was there. The doctor, yeah, the doctor was there for all the experiments basically, and did his own experiments. So they wanted to get the doctor here to help them with the like what they're researching, but the doctor only had a request: bring 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 whatever like shit like give me like bring like Scorch and Spike along. That's the only reason why he would say he would come over here to help. And
Oh, that smart
they
bastard.
they do that. They do that. So, and I imagine the doctor, he actually does tell them stuff about it. Yeah, I imagine he does like actually stuff that actually helps in the long run, like helps the long run. How to produce it, how to make more of it, how to like do all this stuff, and how to like put like how to make
He's a
like
man
a
of his
stable
word.
version of it. Like tell basically basically tells them like stuff that are very useful stuff that if it was any other like whatever they probably wouldn't tell. He tells them because like a man of his word, and I think he like thinks of it as more of as a like a thing to get trust, and to actually keep what he considers valuable like assets next to him. But after that, they do the tour, and then the professor was like, "Oh, hey, we have some essence here. We call them the batteries because it's like a container and looks like a battery, so they say it's a battery. But it's like, okay, we need a transport of essence, containers of essence to a prison or like a prison lab. The reason why they need that is because we need a they requested essence, so we're gonna transport that. If you can transport it for us, that'd be pretty nice."
And then we're
So
like,
like everyone's like,
hell
okay,
yeah.
okay.
And we went
So they
over there.
go over to this lab. Go to this lab. They enter, they get the stuff, and I imagine they haul it down. And then as they see, looking like a prison, it's like equivalent of
John Friend was in that
like
hole.
this is what, yeah, yeah. And as they got there, started helping around, whatever, it the thing broke out and it started causing a ruckus.
A rampage,
And the
if you
name of
will.
this thing was a rampage, if you yeah. And the thing was called Rampage. The thing was called Rampage. If you can if you can't tell.
Peak.
But after they start fighting, whatever, you saw that there's a hole like in the middle, like here's like would be like torso, whatever, and then there's just a hole like in the middle of it.
He had a hole in his chest. A golf ball.
Yeah,
Yeah, not even
and
like a cannonball sized hole in his chest.
yeah, and was it after they like said after it broke out and started calling the ruckus, and the whole squad decided we gotta help, we gotta
We
put this thing
kicked
at
his
bay. And
butt,
there's a guy
kinda.
with a container with a core inside, and the guy just said, just don't let it get its core back. And basically the equivalent of, okay, Rampage here, I'm gonna explain what Rampage is. He's basically immortal. Basically, the only thing that can really, I mean, hurt him really is his core. Basically, this is him. This is not what he looks like, but this is him, and his core is over here. His core, and he wants to try to get the core and put it back
In that hole.
in here. But there's a high thing. There's a thing saying, please don't do that. Please don't do it.
Please don't
Please,
do
but he
that.
wants to
He'll
do it.
kill us all.
But yeah, yeah. So he wants his core back, but he but they were like, don't give him it. So basically the guy constructs something. As they fight it off, they kind of kick his ass, but then they realize after you rip it like piece by piece that each individual part of him, like his hand, like arm and all that, started moving on its own. He will, no matter if you actually rip into pieces, he will actually like they will still wake.
So not fun.
Basically, yeah. But after after the guy constructs something around the core and presses a button, it shocks the core, which basically puts Rampage at bay. And I imagine they give you the thing. They give, I think, click it, but you take it. But you take it.
Noob
But
steals
as
it
soon as
because he
like
hates Rampage.
and glue, but Rampage after getting shocked stops doing like stop his his angry whatever, and
His
then puts
Rampage.
himself back together. And so they basically just keep you guys just keep Rampage. Rampage is basically eternally pissed off. Reason why we don't know. But anyway, after all that, they just kept Rampage and they just took Rampage because it's
He
they have the
became our
core thing
friend.
to like keep him at bay. Rampage didn't like that. He at any moment if he could he probably would try to escape, but you had the core thing, so he would try to get that. But
And then we gave him a controlled
but
shock.
they get over here. They get back to the facility and they see it's ablaze, the fire ablaze,
Everything's
everything cooked in
dead.
pots or whatever. They see the professor laying on the ground injured as they see the Tim like next to the professor as they see a grappler next to them like in pieces basically. And as they're like, what the hell happened? What the hell happened? They look in the cells and all of them are gone. They
Bum
see
bum
basically the
bum.
walls melted and all that. Schmidt go inside, like like to look around. They see a poster, not poster, but they see a marking on the wall, and it's something that Schmidt would recognize. It's like almost a scratch mark of a skull with a gash out of it,
Bum bum bum.
which Schmidt would probably remember. And then after like look, there's a box as well, and it's like in Schmidt. I imagine it was labeled for Schmidt or something like that, or for Rabbit
Oh, by
Man
the
or
way, I
something. I don't
completely
know. I
forgot to
don't.
mention, back at that one town where Schmidt got yoinky sploinkied, they implanted a robot hand, a cybernetic hand onto him
Oh yeah, they replaced it as hand.
because it
They
got
replaced his hand.
yoinked.
But after, yeah, he got it yanked off. But anyway, the Schmidt opens it and they find his severed hand inside,
And
and within the equivalent of the note that says "fuck you" from Scrap,
that was that
and they
little
become
chud's name.
and the Scrap would be the name of the snatcher that chopped his hand and got shot.
Became Schmidt's immortal enemy.
Yes. After that, they go to after that they decided to
They go back
go,
home, I think, right?
yeah, you guys go back home, but then eventually they go back up. So this is what they see. But over here is when I imagine there's an outpost. But I think they don't go there yet. You actually go to this other town. Or not town, it's more of a like a refinery like town, whatever. It's like basically the whole thing is like this town is just, turning ores into
Right, I remember that. That was on the
parts
mountain, I think,
basically.
right?
Yeah, like there's can like, but as like you guys see, they see like a couple of rollers and grapplers actually working and doing stuff, but you see the people like those guys just. I mean, they're not bad. I mean, I don't particularly like them, but they make our life easier, and they don't really. I mean, all they need is essence, which is a good thing to produce. Yeah, something was meant to. But anyway, it was a good thing to produce. It's a pretty easy thing to produce now that the lab is, I guess, sort of working. And then the lab's gone now, so it's like, but I imagine they can still get essence in a way, because because the research that they have now is I imagine circulating now. I imagine,
Yeah.
but anyway, after that they find out that like this place has been say, oh my god, man, we're being fucking like to our neck with work, man. This air tech over there is like asking us to make so much shit right now. They're asking us to make this. They're asking us to make that. We're like the two new orders just came in. We just finished one. Another one just came in. What the fuck? Like like that type of
I
shit.
think this is where I touched tungsten for the first time.
Yeah, this is where actually Gloop's ability. Because I gave him it because I think it's cool. Is that he can turn it into basically any material, as long as he has sort of if he made
Touched it
contact and
before.
became it. Yeah.
I'm
After
kind of
that
like
they
that
go
one
to
guy from Ben 10. What's his name? Kevin? I'm like Kevin, kind of.
Oh yeah, Kevin, yeah, Kevin, yeah, Kevin. Anyway, they go there and they meet over at this. I point at the screen like you see it over here. They meet or they meet Arthur. Arthur's like I imagine old
Right, Arthur's
teammate.
friend. I remember.
Before I met, yeah, yeah. Their name is Match. If I remember, yeah, Match. But she was like, "Oh, it's been a while," and I imagine they talked for a little bit, like old days, whatever. Because like I imagine there's two other members you haven't met yet. Because I imagine like Arthur's a Raven, which I'll talk more about that like later. I don't want to talk about that. The whole like ranking system. But anyway, Ravens are like like one of the best, like the elite basically. And I imagine they were talking and all that, but it was like, oh, well, we need to get past this. And like she was like, oh, okay, yeah, you just go through. Oh
Head
yeah, wait,
on.
forgot. When you guys entered it, you guys came in the vehicle, like like transport core, like Corvox transport vehicle. So they're like, who the fuck
Who
is
the
that?
fuck are
Against shoot,
those
like they about to
guys?
shoot you. They were about to fucking shoot you, but then I
Arthur was
imagine
like,
Arthur came
wait!
out and did with his arms out.
Dog shit!
Imagine Matt. Match is the one that let you in because the Match trusts Arthur.
Little did Match know that
But
we're
I
actually
imagine after
all
you,
secretly Korvox, and we killed everyone!
we actually gutted them and became them like an exoskeleton. But anyway,
Peak.
they go. Okay, they go over to the place where the general said, "Okay, go over there and get the vampire guy because we need him because the vampire guy would be a pretty good asset for them to get. So we do not want that." So they go over there, yada yada yada. They meet a couple people. That's a nice little village. To see a couple core boxes actually over here is pretty nice. They go to the mansion there where the vampire guy is. They go do whatever, all of that.
They were having a jolly little
You
time.
understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think actually, yeah, when they got there, it was like a party or something, like a celebration of some kind.
We met Derek.
And this is when they met Derek. Derek was the like head of like basically the head of this place. But the thing is with Derek, he's like I imagine
Insomnia, right?
what I say like he is insomnia. That's what yeah. I imagine the reason why he has this because his whole like family was sent to like he was the only one that stayed behind when his family was sent like his like family was sent to a fight. He was the only one that's left, and I guess that keeps him up a little bit. And there's Ellison, which is like his equivalent of a like assistant basically.
We love them.
It's not canon.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Not yet, at least. Not at this.
Get the
Not
hell
at this
out of
moment.
here, bro.
Get the fuck out of here! But anyway, they talk out and oh god, I totally forgot about this. This is where they see. This is when they Schmidt found out that Dick actually has two fingers of niggles.
Two fingers. We'll explain the whole religious system in another video.
We'll explain that later. But they found two holy relics that his family just had. And then they talk they talk they to Derek. They talk about it like we got to get you out of here. It's like but I can't just leave my people here. I can't do that. But then Scrap comes in. He takes the fingers of Niggles. He steals them and goes to inspects through the window. And they found out that everything is going to mayhem. Like the court, like they're attacking. They're attacking. Oh
This
my
is where
god, they're
Gloop almost
attacking. Oh
died, I
no,
think.
everyone. Yeah, this is when they started fighting. After like every like, I think after like basically every fight you guys had at this point is like basically a victory.
Yay!
Like you guys fought.
Yeah, every fight we had up till to this point
Yeah.
is when we. Yeah, I think this is when we fought. What's his nuts for the first time?
You fought Scrap. You fought Scrap like full on Scrap, and
Yeah.
then Schmidt just kind of kicked.
No,
his
we were
ass.
kicking his
Whenever
ass.
he kicked his ass.
We were kicking Scrap's ass.
Yeah, you were kicking Scraps. Everyone was beating up Scrap, and there's a couple other rollers like core box rollers, and when you would beat them up, they would retreat because for one, they're core box, they don't want to die, they can think for themselves, and Scrap was like getting his ass handed, but as soon as you were about to win that fight, particular someone comes in. Scrap. I mean, it's not Scrap. Scrap
Scrap
two. No,
2.
Scorch.
Scorch.
This is like
Very
this is
scary.
everybody.
It was very scary.
Scorch comes in, and then within a matter of seconds, kind of like
We got
beats y'all
folded like a
ass.
goddamn omelet.
Yeah. And then as he's about to he basically downed Gloop. He was about to do something to kill all of you, but then you got a heads up from somebody, the doctor, saying, "No, just leave them alone. Leave them alone." I think we got something better. I think we got something better than what we came in for. But he was like, the vampire guy, we gotta get him. But then the doctor was like, "No, we got something better. The
No, little
fingers."
chud.
Anyway,
The fingers. No, he did not say that. That's fake.
no, it's canon. It's canon.
It's canon. He has him, but like there's like a side objective. I do not.
They had them,
Is it a main objective? I really don't want Niggles' fingers to be a main plot point.
no, it is. It is. It is. It's a holy artifact.
Holy artifact.
Which
The only thing that can.
It's a holy artifact.
The only thing that can kill a tendril.
You know what? This is how they get actually holy energy. They get it from Nichols' finger.
God damn it. Peak? I think so.
Peak? I want to kill myself. Anyway, after that the core box actually they retreat. They not retreat, but they
They
take
kicked
the
our
horses
ass.
back.
They just decided to leave.
They decided to leave and all that. They leave and this is when they met. This is when you met the Squish's
Pet. Yeah, that's when
Swerve?
we met his bird, I think. Yeah, Swerve. Because Click was like, oh, I'm going to kick that bird's
Basically-
ass.
Yeah. But then after that, yada 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 yada. They bring everyone back because they're like, this place is burning. So they bring actually no people died. No people died. Only actually the people that no actual citizens died. But a couple when I mean half of the core blocks that were here that the ones that were here before. The whole
Yeah.
incident. Half of them were gone. Half of them did die in that conflict.
I like how Derek's like, I'm not going to leave my people. I am going to leave my people.
But Derek was very oh my god, everything's then I guess you guys
Everything's so
suggested
ass.
to go to the the base. They go to the base area, and he's like, okay, as long as everyone goes as well.
Yeah, we
So
brought
you're
them
like,
with
okay,
us. We're not
so
complete savages.
They brought basically from a little small town and a couple of core blocks to let's say 20 core blocks with them, and they brought them to the facility back to back to base, and everything with okay. I think this is when the Trev started talking more and saying, I actually kind of like it here. Thank you for actually not killing me and all that.
Thanks for being my friend and whatnot.
And thank you for being I don't know, Sigma or something. I don't
Live Trev cam.
But anyway. And I imagine all that happened. Oh yeah, I forgot. They brought Tim and the professor, and they also brought the grappler that was half destroyed. The grappler was still alive, and his name was like Greg. At least that's what he called himself. But then after that, he agreed to become Click's mech, or
Yeah.
put the core in the mech, which would become like TB.
That's in one of our.
I got TB.
TB is in our in the Contest of Legends. If you
Yeah.
watch that, but enough.
Okay, they also back to whatever. Fuck, I'm looking at this map. Okay, so after they get settled or whatever, okay, we should probably go up.
Right?
Because
Didn't we hear something on the radio?
Yeah, you heard it on the radio. It's like on the news channel of SM Rock or something like that. And then afterwards, like, oh, holy shit, something's happening. Like fucking something going down at the town.
Oxville.
This town. Something going on in Oxville and so in someone like Middletown. I forgot the name of it. I'll make it up later. But anyway, there's like something going on. There's fire, smoke, something going on over there. People are being military are being sent over there, and that's when Bartholomew it was sent like ran and was like, we gotta go, I have to get my family back. I have to go make sure my family's okay. And all that happened. They go over there. They get over there,
Pretty quickly.
and then they meet. They meet. This is also the town where the old guy was,
Yeah.
and they see his because the old guy was a retired raven basically,
He was awesome.
and they see his helmet on a pike. So so you guys assume he died. You guys assume. You guys assumed he died because why? What else would you assume? His helmet's on a pike. But anyway, they see something called strikers, which can go invisible and shoot some type of weird thing that dissolves basically anything.
Yeah, fun fact, Gloop
This
cannot morph into it. I'd learned that the hard way.
You touched it, and I imagine it almost went onto you and started eating started eating you. The only way I can explain it is it starts eating shit, eating shit.
It was not
But
pleasant.
after that, they were they left you guys behind because they I don't know, they just left you because they thought I don't know, they just thought
Lum out.
from
These guys
the
lose it.
head. Lam out, you guys suck. They left, but then you guys went back to the town, but then that's when the military came in. Actually, I think they ran because the military.
Yeah.
That's when the military came in with transport vehicles, and they said, oh, when they came in, it was like there's nobody here. Next
Right, this is when we started
to another
escorting people
town.
back.
Yeah, and then I imagine here it's it was okay, but had been a little bit I imagine this what got attacked, but here was you assume it's gonna be next, so they quickly get over there and they evacuate everybody. They evacuate by his family.
Thank God.
They got everybody out. They got everybody out and everything, and that town would I think Oxville would actually become an outpost actually.
That's good.
To make sure that whatever. And after that, they were like, oh my god, okay, holy shit. After that, they're like, Bartholomew, everyone goes to sleep, and then one day Rampage would just get up and just
And
and Group
Gloop,
was like, get your ass
he's
here,
like, Gloop, get back here, get back here,
here.
get back. He had the remote, by the way. He kept trying to push it. It was not doing anything for Gloop.
It
It
was
won't
doing
work.
something, but imagine Rampage was I imagine you shocked him, but it slowed him down a little bit. But when you would stop, he would quicken pace a little bit. It was slowing him down a little bit, but you could tell he was fighting through it. He had to get somewhere. He
Yeah.
had to. He had a need. But anyway, after that, everyone woke up. It's like Gloop is gone. Where's Gloop? And so they chase after Gloop. They chase after Gloop, and they actually go past here. And Match was like, with the your little slime friend and some fucker fucking broke through the fucking walls. So they're like, oh my god, we gotta go get him, we gotta go get our friend. And then they go to a town called Rift Town. It's like a huge. When I mean Rift Town, Rift Town is a fucking huge. It's like a full on city. There's a whole district of it, sleep a whole district of housing, apartments basically, and actually a huge farm area and shopping whatever shit main area. They go over there, and this is when they meet Grapple. Grapple and a
Grapple,
couple other
grapple,
quarterbacks that
grapple.
just kind of lived here.
Stinger and
Grapple,
Sprout, I think, live
Grapple,
here.
Stinger, Sprout just stays over here because they need to keep an eye on everybody.
Their garden.
Their garden. I like to imagine Sprout is more of a towards the other quarterbacks too. I guess a mothery character, a mother type.
That's
I
nice.
feel like That's why I imagine that's why Sprout stayed.
Mother
Grapple
Nature.
decided
Haha.
to go because of mother. Oh, I get it, yeah. But anyway, but they find out that Grapple was actually might have been a reason why like Rampage might have been that. He sort of helped with it, maybe. Research that he did might have helped with it. But Grapple was a defector of like Korvax defector, not wanting to fight for the cause anymore or what like the remnants fought for. She was like, I'm sorry, Rampage. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. It was a fake, bro. Like like the. But I imagine they talk to Grapple. They go to whatever, and Grapple has a shipment of stuff because he actually goes to the mail and he picks something up from Aerotech, and he gives one of them to Rampage, which sort of calms down Rampage. It calms down Rampage. It's like a sub. It's like a mixed with essence, mixed with some other stuff, mixed with some whatever, and it's very, very. It calms down Corvox in a way. It's like the only way I can think it's like like a drug. It's like a drug that like helps with
Crystal meth.
equivalent of is this going. It's like it helps with the equivalents of like Corvox that have experiments or like because like the experiments that the doctor does on Corvox either screw up with their mind in a way that like it does something basically,
It
but the
messes
stuff
them up.
but the drug yeah, the drug kind of like sort of helps them feel normal, like not normal but helps them feel like not crazy or something. It helps with their mind basically.
And that is
After that
very
he
good.
gives him it, but he's like but he's like, I gotta give this to my good friend Stinger. He needs this. And everyone's like, Stinger, who's Stinger? So it's like, oh, Stinger, I guess I'll introduce you guys to them. But then they go into like there's a whole like part of like there's a whole part like apartment sector like area that's for Corvox. So they go over there,
The
and then
back
you see a couple
streets.
Corvox running around. So the back streets, and then they see Sprout, and the Sprout is like, oh, thank you, because the Grapple gives one to Sprout, and then he proceeds to go to where Stinger would live, and this is where they fight Stinger because Stinger is going rabbit. Because
Awesome
Stinger
boss fight.
is yeah, Stinger is basically. This is what I got to go into another thing. Okay, Stinger is part of a different form of Corvox that have been almost fused with organic or like fused with like organic and like whatever. Stinger is like half organic in a way. Because he like when you like gash him like hit like scratch him he naturally like almost like whatever. And the only problem with that is that he can't like can like because like other Corvox they can consume basically anything. Like let's say they consume like a I don't know, let's say he consumes like let's say a roller consumes like a burger or something. They have something in there that can process the essence out of it or process essence out like essence technically and everything.
Yeah.
There's something that turn things into like for firing stuff into essence inside them. Stinger, on the hand, doesn't have that. He can either drink blood, which he can refine to essence, or just straight up essence. That's the only thing he can basically consume.
So he got
But
fucked.
and yeah, and basically he's a mix. He and his whole thing and like the whole like category that he's in is an insect. He was mixed with the insect, and that's what gave him his organics, and his can only consume like blood and essence. The only problem is that it's sort of like over time he started feeling more like animalistic in a way. He started feeling like parts of him leave. He started feeling that he started reverting into like almost a rabbit animal in a way, and they they beat him. They fight like I think you have one more syringe. You actually inject into him,
Yeah.
and
I think it was
you
Grapple who got
find
it in there, if I remember correctly.
yeah Grapple was able to get the injection in and brought him back, and you find out Sting was that just a kind of a decent kind of guy. Yeah,
He was
decent kind of guy
Luke's
that
friend.
kind of yeah. And he also kind of enlightened Gloop about you don't have you if you want that bad can change or something like that.
You might be
Or it's
stupid
like you
as
can change
fuck,
or something
but
like
you're still stupid. No, he was like,
that. You're still all right. I think like yeah, he was the like seeing was like just straight up like just talking to Gloop and like explaining stuff very in detail.
because I
Well,
forgot to
everyone
mention
was
this,
like,
but
oh my god.
Gloop was very, or up to this point, Gloop was very close-minded. Not close-minded. It's not his fault. He's stupid. Right? Plasmoids. Not all of them are really stupid, but Gloop had a. I'd like to say
Just that one.
the equivalent of a plasmoid's version of autism. He was not high functioning, right? But he was a goofy little guy. He always wanted his whole mission in life is make people happy. But he's very iffy because if he's like a baby hen or something, right? If you imprint on like first impressions really matter to this guy. So if you like try to kill him on your first impression, but like it was an accident, Gloop would be like, "What the hell, man? You're my enemy for life." And that's what happened to Rampage, and everyone was trying to make Rampage be a good guy. So also, yes, and yeah. So Stinger was like,
Yeah,
"Don't need to be like that, man.
like it's just basically you don't need to be you gotta be gangster like me. That's what
You
no
gotta be
no.
gangster like me."
But Stinger, but no, but Stinger was just kind of like a decent guy, talked and helped with a lot of stuff.
He
And
also talked to
later
John, I
on,
think.
they sleep. Yeah, and this is when Schmidt finds out that Grapple is actually the one that helped engineer
Oh yeah, Schmidt
the
has
rabies that he
rabies.
has.
Schmidt has a very
Yeah,
special
Schmidt has
disease
rabies.
of rabies that doesn't kill him.
But anyway, Schmidt finds out that Grapple was he wasn't the one that made it, but he helped with making it in a way. He helped with making it. So Schmidt was justifiably mad because like I have this
What the
rabies that
hell,
I'm
bro?
stuck with. I can't see my family. I can't do all that because I have this shit. Fuck you. Proceeds to run off. Everyone was like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Gloop
You threw
tried to
away
calm
this.
him down.
At this point, you
Yes,
threw
at
away the
this point,
switch.
because Gloop
Threw
didn't
away a
think the
switch.
switch was working. He didn't think that Rampage's little doodad was working, so he threw it in the get trash. Remember that. That's very important. Uh,
After that, everyone was like, like someone tried to talk to Schmidt. I think Stinger tried to talk to Schmidt. Everyone tried to talk to Schmidt, but
Gloop tried doing it, and
he was just mad.
that's what got Gloop on.
Yeah. But anyway, after a while, they're like, okay, everyone's hungry. Let's go. Like the squad was like, let's go eat something. Let's go to a burger place that becomes a bar at night or something. I don't know, like something like that. They go over there, they eat like, oh, no, this shit's pretty good. Scooby snacks, like type shit like that.
Scooby snack.
Scooby snacks. Oh shit, this is actually pretty good. Like type shit.
Type.
But anyway, they go over here. It's like at the corner. It's like at the corner. Like over here. But anyway, they go over there, and everyone's like, "Wow!" After, oh my god, that's pretty good. Arthur was just kind of like, Arthur was just kind of hanging around. Arthur was just pretty much like the equivalent of like a watcher. At this point, Arthur at this point was kind of like, these guys are like kids. Holy shit! Like Arthur was pretty much like. He thought, like, I feel like Arthur thought of this more as a chore to, like, watch over you guys. But after over time, I feel like he actually kind of, like, liking you
Ended
guys.
up thinking we were pretty Sigma.
Yeah. At this point, I feel like he was at the midpoint of, like, hating you, like, not like, oh my god, you guys are children, and sort of liking you. But after that, that's when shit hits the wall. They see something in the sky, but they can't see it because the fucking sun is like being fucking whatever. They see something fall. What is it? Oh no, it's Spike. Hits the ground. EMP basically. Spike
EMP.
was
Very
kind of
sad.
like, what? He just kind of ran around. Everyone ran out. I was like, what the hell? Explosion happens. Oh my god! Like 1,000 bullets come in and everything, and then that's when they made the abomination. Blast, Surge, and Thrasher. Thrasher being the fucking, the strong motherfucker. Surge being the fucking genius, and fucking Blast being the wild card.
The Chud card. The fan
Mm-hmm.
favorite.
Who would you say you would like more?
I still like Surge the most, but Blast is pretty funny.
But anyway, they fight, and everyone was fighting, and then Kasha, the rabbit person, chases after Spark
Because Spark was
because
running
they
around after they
assume because
dropped him.
Yeah, and like Surge said something about like we need the experiment, give us the experiment back or something like that, and Kasha thought, oh, it has to be Spike, so they chase after Spike. But after after fighting, everything going mayhem, freaking last we got Jonathan Giles into court as Spider-Man. It's like basically kicking his ass.
It was awesome
Basically
though because
started
it was
beating him
it
up.
was like it was Spidey versus his bad guy. It was awesome.
His bad guy. And they were fighting, and then as John was like about to be like he got like beat to the ground, whatever. Basically, you see as like as they were fighting, like he was gonna what is it? John wasn't fast enough to help with the fucking like basically the radio tower falling down on like some like people. But that's when Stinger came in and helped with that, and I think
He saved
Stinger was
them.
helping. But then after, yeah, saved them, and then John got his ass beat to the ground, and then after that, that's when Stinger was fighting with the Abomination. But then, oh wait, no, that's not how it worked.
Is
The
it?
radio tower fell, and then that's when Stinger came in, but he got stuck under it.
And that's when Thrasher went up to him.
That's when Thrasher went up to him and basically picked him up, ripped him in half, and just basically just killed Stinger.
It was our Jonathan Giles Spider-Man's canon event. It was very sad.
Like, I guess, yeah, yeah. But the thing is, with like how like core blocks in general can like when you destroy the body, they can replace their cores within a different body. But the thing with
Stinger was an
Stinger,
organic one,
the
so he couldn't do
experiment,
that, right?
yeah, he was an organic one. Basically, his core is basically equivalent of a heart, basically, at least for him now. Remove it, the body dies, he dies as well. He's basically stuck in there. There's nothing you can do. So they basically everyone was like, "Oh no!" It
Our
was like
guy.
because John like Stinger was kind of a cool guy, but then that's when Grapple came up. Actually, no, we're still in the fight. Never mind, Grapple was not here yet.
Right, this
But I
is when
imagine Grapple was
Blast,
also helping
yeah.
people.
This is when Blast went up to
This is
Gloop, I
when
think.
this is what, and yeah, and this is when you know. This is when like okay, and let's go. And this is when actually he gets the controller,
Which Gloop threw out because he thought it was broken.
and
Gloop's not the smartest guy.
and after after all that, they were like, "Give us Rampage, or we'll kill everybody," because they have a couple people they were about to execute. But then Rampage actually gave himself up because Rampage at this point was starting to change
He was
for
starting to
the
be a good
better.
guy. And
But the
Gloop couldn't
started being a
see it
good
yet.
guy. Gloop couldn't see it until it was too late.
It's so sad. It was literally that session where
But
he started seeing the
after
good in him. It was so sad.
it was the session that you started seeing good, and then he got kidnapped
It's
or
over.
taken away. After that, he gets Swerve. The bird comes down and grabs Rampage and lifts him up. And then after Kasha chases and basically catches Spike, the thing Swerve comes out and grabs Spike as well, and that's when they retreat. Or retreat, yeah. This is when they all leave. Oh,
I imagine that the flying away, you could just hear Blast laughter as he's flying out.
yes. But this is when the emotional moment, this is when Grapple came on, and it was like, and all that,
Stinger,
and
buddy,
everything
no.
was like, everything was sad. This thing was actually kind of a good dude, and Grapple was just kind of emotional about it. And this is when I imagine this town started looking at like at least at these core blocks in general were kind of okay because they were not liked to it, but I imagine at that point this is when they started like seeing, oh, these guys are not bad.
They helped us.
They helped us.
They became our friend.
I imagine I imagine Stinger was kind of the one that helped with that because he's helped he helped the kid basically. And I also had the thought that the kid that the Stinger saved was the
Mm-hmm.
radio guy, like the guy's radio like station's kid. I
Oh,
imagine.
that's neat. I like that. There's good writing right here.
But I imagine this is when officially like people started seeing the your squad as like actual
This is when the Z
people
team,
that like
or
that
not Z team, Task Force Z was was
yeah,
created.
formed or officially announced
Officially,
from
like,
the radio.
yeah.
And this is when, after everyone's preparing whatever emotional shit, this is when Grapple actually decides, I want to help. I want to help with you guys. I want to join. And all that. This is when Grapple comes in. This is when Grapple, if Stinger didn't die, he would actually came and helped you guys. But he's dead.
Burp, burp.
Sad. But Grapple comes along and helps you guys, or like what, like says, "I'll help you guys with anything." Like, just like because Grapple is a very depressed dude. You can't tell.
Mhm. Yeah.
Very depressed because he, for one, best friend dies. Second, the reason why he died, the reason why Stinger died or couldn't be saved is because of something that he did that helped with experiment on Stinger with. And third, he helped with basically most of the experiments and a lot of shit the bad shit he did. He doesn't like that. So he felt really bad. Very sad.
Very sad. Very
Sad
sad.
emoji.
Sad emoji.
Anyway, sad emoji. But anyway, these guys were like, you guys stayed at this place, and then for everything, whatever. No, they started coming with a plan and all that, and all the whatever, blah 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 blah
And the
blah blah
next
blah
morning,
blah
this
blah
is
blah blah blah
when
blah blah.
I think.
This is when This is okay. Next morning, Gloop. Gloop
Yeah.
says, "I like because Grapple said a one-off thing saying like, oh yeah, they like labs or whatever. We could like find them basically with a lab, and then like lab it or whatever." And Gloop saying, "Where's the lab?" And
Where's that
Grapple being
at?
curious is saying, "Oh, the lab's over like gives you an area." But it's like, but Grapple thinking you're gonna say that to everybody and say
Gloop
to
realized he
go.
messed up big when he
Gloop.
dropped that remote, so he wanted to try and prove himself to go out there on his own.
So he left.
He left the team, and this is when things went
So
so downhill.
yeah, this is when we gotta go get we gotta go get Gloop. He left and everything, and so they went down. They followed Gloop, and then they get to a facility, old abandoned facility. Gloop goes in. Follow Gloop. Will follow, but the squad gets in. They venture and they see a bunch of plant life, whatever. And they go inside, whatever, and then they find out there's a bunch of like red vines and shit everywhere. And blah yada yada. They go in more. They go in more. They go in more. They find the equivalent of a huge red vine, like
Ew, icky
the way I
flesh
imagine
slap.
it, it's like yeah, basically the red huge vine thing was a vine tear that was experiment to
Yeah,
very, 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 very heavy experiment.
'cause the
And
doctor
they
loves
fought
his
it, they killed it.
experiments.
Yeah, they fought it, they killed it, and then after they're like, we gotta put the power. They found Gloop.
They found him.
Gloop. They were like, oh. After that, they were like, okay, we gotta put the power on. Like Grapple said, we have to put the power on so we can, get the information out of it because, like, this information is shit that we don't want the doctor having.
Yeah.
And then But then after they put the power on, they Grapple tried to delete it. Grapple tried to straight up delete the thing, but everyone was like, no, 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 don't do it. But then everyone reasoned that if we just have it, this could help us. This could help the people fighting against the doctor to get power over him, and that
We managed to
that
convince the
convinced
guy.
Grapple to not delete it. Because Grapple at this point was not being sensible. He was more thinking, I want to fuck over the doctor. I want to fuck him over
He wasn't
instead
thinking
of
long
thinking like
term.
this could fuck him over more. Yeah, long term. He was being very, very short sighted at this moment. But then he's like, okay, we'll take it. After they take it, they're like, okay, let's leave. As soon as they leave, they find they find Scorch, Blast, Scrap, and the Doctor
Don't forget the
all waiting out.
abomination.
Oh yeah, I said Blast. I said Blast for the
Yeah.
Abomination. The
Abomination.
Abomination.
All three of those
The
fucks.
Abomination.
All of them were here.
Yeah, they were all here, and they're like, it was an epic fight, but it was a fight that you guys were sort of like losing because they were all
Schmidt
fucking
was
here.
kicking Scrap's ass.
Yeah, he was script. Yeah, he was actually kicking ass.
We, on the
I
other
think he was
hand,
kicking Scraps. He was kicking. Smith was kicking Scraps' ass on like fucking like 10 health or 20 health.
yeah,
Remember that after the fight. But then Scrap got the upper hand and fucking beat his ass.
I punched Spark so hard in the butt he decided to explode on everyone.
Oh yeah, Spike was here. Spike was here. This is Spike now, and this is Scorch. But
Oh yeah, Kasha ran away during
what
this
is
fight
it?
because I believe
Yeah,
we said that
Kasha ran away because
Scorch was the one that
yeah, Scorch is
yeah,
burned at her village.
yeah.
Okay, so basically, blah, 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 fight. Okay, the Schmidt gets basically beaten down. Everyone is at the like lowest point because everyone's getting their ass handed. And actually, thinking Arthur was able to down Surge, at least knock Surge out of the fight. But that's still at Thrasher
Oh
and
yeah, the Abomination, they got knocked out, I think, right?
yeah, because at least Surge got knocked out. But then after Gloop, you touched Spike,
I slapped
made
him
him
on the
like
ass.
accidentally put a gash in. You slapped him on the ass, opening a gash with basically energy everywhere. Because remember, freaking Spike is producing a lot of that shit, and basically basically KO'd the Abomination. I think that also, I think it didn't actually. It was far away enough where it didn't hit Scrap, but it hit the
Oh wait,
doctor.
no,
But you
before
notice
the
that it
Abomination got
didn't do
taken
it. It
out.
didn't do.
Before the Abomination got taken out, right? Didn't Yuko?
Hmm? Oh yeah, Yuko died.
Yeah, Yuko
Yuko got like I don't know, like fucking
thrown into
like
a wall and then like their spine broken
or something like that. Yeah,
by Thrasher.
Yuko dies in this
It was very
by
sad.
Thrasher, and then Thrasher was like, something I don't know, but then proceeds to get knocked out by Spike, whatever, and all that. And after that, everyone was like, "Oh my god, oh we're damaged,
We're
oh my
not
god, we're
winning.
damaged,
Oh, we're not winning.
And then this is when the doctor decided to, you know what, I think you know what, I think we have something better than the research that you have. So they basically Scrap picks up Schmidt, and the
Wait,
doctor
didn't
says,
the didn't
"Let's
the
bring
didn't
this."
didn't didn't the military show up?
Yeah, the military showed up. Yeah, actually, yeah, the military did show up, and then that's when they were like, you know what? Doctor was like, I think we got something better, or like something equivalent of the research that we would have got here. So he basically tells Scrap to take Schmidt, and actually, the doctor actually picks up the Abomination and says, and just kind of leaves. But then that's when
Isn't that what like
that's when
me, John, Bartholomew, and
this is
Score
when
and yeah,
like Scorch. This is when Scorch started like getting in the fight. But this is when the Merc came in,
we love the Merc.
and epic fight. Fucking fight of the ages. Fucking Merc fighting Scorch. It was actually even fight. Like I imagine each like punch was the equivalent of like almost like this whole place shaking almost. It was a
And
fucking
John
fight.
hit him with an Umi
But
Hamikami Ka.
oh wait, no, this is not yet. But then when after Surge, not Surge, after freaking Scorch got the upper hand and was about to kill, you think about to kill the Mike. The Mike fucking did the equivalent of shoving his hand right through his fucking like stomach, like waist
Omni-Man.
or like his stomach and ripping out there, yeah, ripping out the parts of Scorch's like cords or whatever. And Scrap that fucking up Scrap a lot. Scrap backed
Scorch.
up, but then after what did the medics that came with oh yeah, this is when you found out that the mic was a tendril. This is when they found out the mic
Dun
was a
dun
tendril.
dun.
After whoa, that's like kind of crazy. But anyway, they after everyone was healed, they started to jump in the fight and beat up Scorch. Scorch being like not in a good like position because after ripping out the squads, I imagine fucked up his movement a lot. A lot of his like actually can't like it fucked him up a lot. So this allowed literally everyone to jump him, like beat his ass and all that, and like kick his ass and all that. But then after Scorch was about to do something. Actually, they knocked his hand off or arm off, and you see Scorch picks it up and puts it back. And he's about to do something, but then he was teleported out of there.
And right
But
before
before
he
he was
did
teleported
that,
out of there,
yeah,
Gloop
was like, if he's gonna be teleporting
jumped.
out of there, I gotta get to my boy Schmidt.
Gloop jumps on him and teleports with him. And this is when the prison arc starts.
Act 3 or something, or Act 2,
This is
probably. I don't
when
know.
this is
One of
when
the two.
yeah, this is when everybody goes back to base and like, oh my god, what the fuck? And this is when
They're gone.
like
This is
all
where we
that
had the Yuko
they
funeral.
go, they go. Yeah. And then after that, the you guys Gloop's in prison. They find out Gloop's in prison. Schmidt, old guy, Rampage, and
Siege.
another Korvox that's in there. Siege.
Siege is a
Siege is in there.
deserter Korvox.
Defector.
Yeah, defector. Who has
Yeah, and
quite a
then after
temper. He's a pretty cool
yeah,
guy.
yeah. But you know, Gloop finding a vent behind the toilet because I don't know, they think Gloop's stupid enough to find the vent. Anyway, Gloop gets like half of himself in there.
He
He
performs
couldn't get
mitosis.
fully in there because they couldn't get Gloop couldn't go in there fully because of the frozen atmosphere. Like it's like cold in that room.
Yeah. So he actually had to cut
But that's
part of his
after
nerves off,
yeah
which really hurt.
yeah. Yeah. After that, he scours and sees the layout and all that. Finds some cool shit. Find whatever. Yada yada yada. Tries to find a way to get out. Couldn't find one, but keeps exploring in, like the facility. But at the base, everyone was like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh
We're
my
so
god! Oh my
fucked.
god! No!"
I believe at the funeral is where we met, fuck, hang on. At the funeral is where a new person was introduced. Their name being, Ventrix, I think it was. I think it was Ventrix.
Yeah.
Ventrix, and they
Yeah.
were
Yeah. I think
like
so. Yeah.
one of those snake. I think they're called Yuan-Ti. UNT, the snake people. They were I think a paladin or something, and they were a friend of Yuko's, and they came to the funeral because they wanted to, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But after that, all that, whatever, the grapple had an idea saying we can go to another facility, and with this maybe we can like actually no, they took Spark. They took Spark, and the Click and grapple trying to find a way to keep Spark from not fucking blowing up because they find out that Spark is producing so much energy to the point where if I say the body, like I say container, but the container is the body, and the container is like cracking because of all this shit that the energy Spike produces. So they're like, we gotta like, I don't have anything to keep him at bay. So, but that's when Grapple got the idea of the crystals. Crystals, like I would say, the only way I can explain the crystals, like like the crystals that like crystals that be used for like magic, like magical, like
Yeah.
whatever, like for staffs and all that, right?
Magical mumbo
I
jumbo.
imagine that, but yeah, but I imagine they took one and changed like the way it works. They changed something about it where instead of like like use like sending energy or like being used for it, like it's used to like contain more energy to like siphon energy. But in doing so, when it siphons energy, it almost grows like a plant almost. It grows like a plant, taking more energy, more energy. But the way they made it was so unstable and dangerous that if even the Korvoks themselves could be a danger of it. I imagine tendrils, they're not really affected by it because for one, they don't have no magic. They have nothing of it. They have nothing of it. So the Korvoks were the only ones really like they could be affected by it, but it's like if you have like equivalent of a cut on yourself leaking blood and that hits that and it gets inside you, you're dead.
Yeah.
But it's a base for organics. If you touch it, the thing is able to siphon energy out of that, and since it siphons it, it grows, and it grows basically to consume whatever touched it, basically. But they get to the facility, they go look around, yeah. They're like, oh my god, crystals everywhere. We gotta find the research. And this is when Knight got a cool new sword.
And then that I
And then
think
they
is
find stuff. They find
right where I think that's when we
we like start.
start recording. So I think that's about as much as we need to explain in this recap video. I think because then
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
guys will see everything else. Be awesome.
Yeah.
But
Then later, they researching on it. Then later, yeah, blah blah blah. We gotta find the research. That's where it stops, basically.
yeah. And then yeah. So that's everything. Do make sure to keep watching to see what happens next, because I'm on the edge of my seat personally. Um,
Which on the edge is the unit?
exactly, exactly. So until next time, until the next episode of the Ro-pocalypse, we'll see you then. Anything you want to say?
Get jiggy with it.
Get jiggy with it. You heard it here, folks. All right, bye.